Another show here at Luke Fruia Motors in Brownsville. Kevin Aro, Ruben Rodriguez here to my right. Getting set for another week of high school football. Thanks for joining us on our weekly show, Wednesday. Today is September 21st, and we are getting ready to roll into another week of high school football. That is week 6. We've gone through 5 weeks, pretty much about a month already through the season. It's just continuing to blow by. We're seeing teams start district play this week. We're going to be joined later in the show by Danny Pardo, head coach of the Brownsville Pace Vikings. They're fixing to start their district play. 32-6A still a couple of weeks out from district play. Some teams have already started district play, and we'll be talking a little bit about some of those 5As later on in the show. So kicking things off and just looking back at the week that was in week 5, Ruben, you were at a couple games this past weekend, and what stood out to you?
Well, one that would start for me was McCown Memorial, Annenberg Villa. I was expecting a street fight between two teams. You know, Moses Patterson's ball club has had a little bit of a slow start this year, but I figured, hey, they can compete with Annenberg Villa, and Annenberg Villa just went to work quickly. It was both teams. The first drive was, hey, it's a feeling out process. Okay, this is what we're throwing out. It's what y'all are throwing out. All right, and so Dedlow started things off with a huge block on a field goal, and that pretty much led the tempo. Jamal Pauly knocked in 3 touchdowns for Annenberg Villa, and the Sabercats offense, they showed that they're for real. Quoting you, saying that, yeah, it was just a big, like, it was like no one expected that.
I think people expected Edinburgh Vella to bring that intensity. That's one thing that they've known, that they're known for these last few years. But what impresses me is that they won on all 3 phases of the game, and the special teams, something that we really don't talk about too much in high school football. Not that coaches don't put an emphasis on it, they do, but it's how they dominated in that 3rd phase of the game, because you know what they're going to do on defense with Jake Duffner. Offensively, they found some pieces there that they've really relied on. Dimas De Leon, Carlos Tamez, just it's amazing because the talent and the skill guys that just come funneling through that program. But so it's like, okay, great. Vela put up 42 points on offense. Tell me something I don't know. Defensively, they get a pick 6. Tell me something we don't know. So for me, it was the special teams that really stood out. And McCallum Memorial, they've been struggling this year. They've lost against Mission Vets at home. They got whipped by San Benito, but it seems like San Benito's doing that to everybody. Memorial just might not be where we thought they would be at this point in the year, considering they went 3 deep. Myself was still riding that scooter onto this year. Like, well, they lost at home against Veterans. Veterans is a good team. They lost by less than 10. Then they go and they lose convincingly to San Benito, and it's like, well, you start getting those red flags. And then they go out and they lose to Vela the way they did. So, they're right now, McCallum Memorial, they're just looking for some answers and what's shaping up to be a very competitive district. But as for Edinburgh Vela, it's just kind of like, well, they went out there, they did what they were supposed to do, they handled their business, and by all means, some people could have looked at that game as a trap game. But, Coach John Campbell, they pitched a shutout against a pretty good offense. 63 points is not something easy. Anything else that stood out to you?
Another matchup too. We saw the Port Isabel Brownsville Veterans game on a Friday night. That one, everyone expected, hey, it's going to be a quick matchup, and no, Brownsville Veterans just went to work. And one name you need to pay attention to, folks: Brian Chavez. 5 touchdowns offensively here for Brownsville Veterans, and the defense shut out the Tarpon offense too. Port Isabel only knocked in 2 touchdowns. A 44-14 final score. Again, the Charger defense forcing 6 turnovers, 2 turnovers on downs, and 4 fumbles. So this Brownsville Veterans team is for real, and they're convincing to make a statement in 16-5A Division I as we roll into that district calendar next week.
I think they've already made their statement, and from what they do from here on out, including last week, it's not a surprise because we saw them week 1, Joe and I, against San Benito, and we saw what they did offensively up front. They turned the football over way too many times in that football game, 3 times in that second half. And all 3 times they had the football. They needed to clean that up. So my first question before I go on is, did they turn the football over?
Only turned it over once on a fumble.
Once is too many.
Quarter.
Once is okay. If it was in the first quarter, fine. But once is too many, and you can ask Coach Kelly. He'll tell you that he would like no turnovers. But the fact that they were able to minimize that and shrink it down. Anytime you turn the ball over, it's not a good thing. But the fact that they turned it over once compared to 3-4 times like they had in the past. A couple weeks ago when they played St. Joe, they turned it over a couple times. And those were just some things that they needed to clean up. And it's like, okay, if veterans can clean up that side of the football and not turn it over, they're going to be very, very good. And Brian Chavez, I mean, he arrived week one when that kid uh, was playing both sides of the football. He went toe to toe with San Benito and with that offense, and every week that San Benito wins and wins and wins and wins the way they have been, that 17-3 loss doesn't look so bad if you're Brownsville veterans. Uh, I'm not trying to beat an old drum, but it's 3-3 at halftime, turnovers, second half, yada yada yada, whatever. But against Port Isabel, we knew we were going to get the slot team mafia, but I just felt that the numbers and the size up front for veterans was going to help make the difference in that football game, and you saw it in the second half, 44-14. I didn't expect that score. I would have said 35-21. I have a lot of I have all the faith in Port Isabel. I think they're going to be okay. But this was a good test for them to go up against a 5A and line up against another slot T because they're in 4A, so they may run into a Navarro eventually in the playoffs. Teams that like to run that nasty slot. But yeah, veterans. Like I said 2 weeks ago, they're better than you think, and they're only going to get better. And offensively, with that triple option, right now they're just playing really good, sound football. Anything else?
And another big game we saw was a 5A 4 battle. It was LaFerre Mercedes. That was probably, I think, the biggest game of the night. I know Rudy got to call that one. It was just a shootout. And going over the highlights, getting my article out for LaFerre News, and I just saw like this LaFerre offense. They seem for real, and they won district last year in 16-4 Division 1. I think they're making a strong case to run it back in a very lengthy district, and it's not going to be easy. You have Alice coming in. You have Chalosa midway with Cal Allen also, and I know they're opening up against Alice this weekend, but I know LaFerre just showed that they're a very tough ball club.
The first team you should have mentioned was Cal Allen right out of the gate. It's going to be very tough for LaFerre to win that district. I don't think it's probable. Will they make the playoffs? Probably. Off the top of my head, you'd probably go Cal Allen, Alice, LaFerre. LaFerre might be a 3 or a 4 seed. But no, they're going to have their work cut out for them, and it's going to be another treat this weekend when Cutter Stewart. That was the big story for Alice when they got the transfer quarterback from Orange Grove to come down to Alice and fit right in. Because last year I thought Alice was ahead of the game because they were so young with Coach Atwood and what they do there. And thankfully the game's here in LaFerre because if they'd have to go to the Sky Dome, that gets a little tougher. It's always a tough place to play. But, yeah, that game definitely is one to look forward to. But looking back, 100 points later, Mercedes, LaFerre, those two teams traditionally in the past have scored a lot of points. They've been very deep on offenses these last 2 or 3 years. So for them to do that and put up 100 points combined and what wound up being a track race, no surprise there. But it's good to see that LaFerre offense kind of get sprung to life a little bit. I know they had been struggling this year. Mercedes, another team like McAllen Memorial, we're just kind of riding the coattails of last year. Mercedes has a big one tomorrow, which is our Pronto Insurance Game of the Week against Cherryline. So we'll talk more about that later. But on the flip side, some things that I learned was that PSJ is starting to figure it out offensively. 2 weeks ago, they put up 33 and lost at home on a last-second touchdown against Los Fresnos. I felt Jaime Lopez looked so much more comfortable in the system. Not that he wasn't or he might not know the system. He knows the system. The offense was just struggling. They couldn't piece it together. They were scoring 14 points against East, and they got blanked in week 1 against PSJ North. And it's like, well, what's going on with PSJ? Where is the offense? That's not the offense that people are accustomed to seeing with Lupe Rodriguez. But they go on the road Saturday morning, 11 a.m. I'm pretty sure it was pretty hot for a Saturday morning game. Those games are always tough. But they put up 37 against Hannah. And then, ironically enough, they're going to play against Brownsville Veterans tomorrow at Sam's. So you're going to get a spread against a slot T. That's going to be one last test for PSJ. I think going into that game, is it a must-win? No. Would it be nice to win? Yes. But I think if they can go into that football game and continue what they're doing on offense and win or lose, I think that's still a plus for that team. But it's going to be tough for them. San Benito, they're just continuing to impress as the weeks go on. They went into Tom Landry last Friday, and they just They put a whipping on Mission Vets, 53-7, and that's just something that we really don't see from a David Gilpin team 2 weeks in a row. They got Harlingen put up a 50-piece the week before, pitched the shutout, and then last week Vets scored 1 touchdown. And I mean, the game started with a pick six. I thought Alberto, he struggled a little bit from the quarterback position. I still think they will figure it out, but for them to lose back-to-back games like that, it's just kind of unheard of, especially from Coach Gilpin. So they play Hannah on Friday at home. The side story was that was their first game at Tom Landry in 2 years. So you had, they're coming off a loss. They're going to be at their first home game in almost 2 years. So I just felt there was a lot of emotion coming into that game. And San Benito just went in there and they weathered the storm. And they threw the first punch and they didn't look back from there. But they just continue to get better offensively. They showed a lot more speed than I originally anticipated. And they got plenty of weapons, more weapons than I thought. Rodney Rodriguez, Fabian Garcia, Aaron Corona at quarterback. So I think the more we see San Benito play, and then the next thing I learned was Harlingen in a quarter and a half, albeit they looked as good as advertised. I know it was a very small sample size, and just everything about that game was weird. The weather, the lightning, with delay, or we're going to not have a delay. The game was supposed to be scheduled for 7. We ended up playing at 7:25. There were about 4 fumbles in that first quarter, only because it was pouring rain. One of the more crazier first quarters that we've seen. But the more we get into that, I think, Harlingen and then San Benito, I think those two, as of now, have put themselves in a class of their own in 32-6A. And when comes Boda time, I think the winner there will put themselves in the driver's seat in first place. And then you have PSJ North Vela. The stars have aligned for tomorrow's matchup. The winner there most likely will win that district. It's the matchup everyone's been talking about. Last year, Vela won that one 24-0 in FAR. So the Raiders get them at home again. So that's another game that everyone's just kind of looking forward to. And a lot of people feel that might be a region final or a 4th round, 5th round matchup somewhere down the line. But that game's going on tomorrow. And then Brownsville Porter and Donna. They're both 4-0. So those are just a couple of things that I learned throughout week 5, but of course the big ones tomorrow night. Unfortunately, we won't be able to stream it, but I know all eyes will be down in FAR. So when we come back, we're going to be joined by Danny Pardo of the Brownsville Pace Vikings. We're going to talk some Viking football. So when we come back, we'll be joined by Brownsville Pace head coach Danny Pardo.
Beach, bay, or both. Sun rises and sunsets daily. Memories made all day. Live music and great food round out your visit. So why wait? SoPadre.com.
We're the St. Joe Bloodhound Cheerleaders, and you're watching Real Sports Live!
Baby, just listen to me.
Escucha.
Do everything with speed.
Prontísimo.
Out of home business or
Flexible.
insurance for all your needs.
Barato.
You say you just got a new boat. Come on by and we'll give you a free quote.
Prontísimo.
Okay, who's singing? Muriel. Hello?
Accesible.
I'm out.
Ask your agent how you can start saving with Pronto. Best price in town.
We are the Border Cowgirls, and you're watching Real Sports Live. Yeehaw!
Ibanez Tortilleria, serving up freshly made in-house corn and flour tortillas since 1994. Try delicious menudo, tasty barbacoa, fresh tamales, tacos, variadas with juicy grilled chicken, and tender fajitas. On Mondays, buy 1 barbacoa taco and get 1 free if you mention that you're a Bloodhound fan. Located at 4726 Paredes Line Road, Brownsville, Texas. Open every day at 6:30 a.m. till 9 p.m. To order, contact 956-541-9594.
We're the San Bernardino Lady Trojans, and you're watching Real Sports Live.
Our service is unmatched. Our commitment to our team and our community, relentless. Our products are innovative and exciting. Fruia, we're what's next now.
We are the Westaco Lady Panthers, and you're watching Real Sports Live. Yeah!
Music lovers, you have to stop and see the assortment of records, tapes, and records memorabilia at Forever Memories today. Located at 237 North Sam Houston in San Benito, Texas, there's over 10,000 records on display and more coming every day. Looking for your favorite album from the past? first pressings, collectibles. How about a 45 with a single you just have to have? Freddie Fender, Johnny Cash, Hank Williams, Elvis, Beatles, blues, rock, classics, Tejano, it's all here. Organized and priced for you. Forever Memories, 237 North Sam Houston, San Benito.
We are the Red Lady Raiders, and you're watching Real Sports Live.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Castillo. I invite you to visit San Benito and see for yourself the many things this community has to offer. Our offices of economic development offer a variety of business resources to developers, investors, and business owners from small to large scale. Contact us and let us work together on your next business opportunity.
We are the Harlingen Lady Cardinals, and you're watching Real Sports Live.
A world of opportunity awaits students on their unique path to college acceptance and career readiness. The path to college starts on day one in Los Fresnos, a path that starts with a solid foundation rooted in the classroom by exceptional educators. The path to college starts in Los Fresnos. Los Fresnos CISD. What we do here shapes the world.
We're the Pace Lady Vikings, and you're watching Real Sports Live.
What's going on? We're joined by head coach Danny Pardo of the Brownsville Pace Vikings. Coach, what's going on?
Not much, man. Here another day, hanging out with you.
Yeah, just down the street. We're here in Brownsville at Luke Fruia Motors here in Brownsville, Texas. Coach, you guys go into Mission last week. Tom Landry, you mentioned that you had been there before. Talk about the venue, and off air we were saying we're both Cowboy fans, and just being that it's Tom Landry Stadium and it's one of the nicer venues we have.
Oh, it's a great atmosphere there. We happened to play there before. Before they had to shut it down for construction, whatever they're doing. We actually played Mission Vets there one time too. I think during our first, right before they closed it, I think. And while I was at Hannah, we played Mission High there. Actually, the last time we played Mission High, our secondary coach used to be our quarterback at Pace.
Okay.
And we went and played him there, So.
And who was that?
Dustin Hernandez.
Okay.
He used to be our quarterback at Pace, and we went and played him there against Mari Peña's team back in the day. So it was nice to go back in there and play them again. It was one of those teams that we kind of hooked up late during the realignment. The coach Longoria wasn't there, and one of his assistants came and approached me and said, hey, coach says you can hook it up. Like, let's go, because I had nobody else.
Yeah.
We were scrambling to find people. For some reason, people thought we were going to be this great team. We're okay, but believe me, we're not a great team. We're working on it. We got some young kids, in there that need to get some experience. So we still got some work to do on it.
Yeah, and you guys got your first win, 41-28. That's a lot of points, and it's got to be something good for you guys to see offensively. I know you guys are struggling a little bit, looking for answers. Some of them had to have been answered this past week.
Yeah, we sure did. I think defensively we were spending too much time on the field. We're not designed to be on a grind, a 3-7 kind of score. We're small on defense. We run a little bit, but eventually if you spend too much time on it, they get tired, So our defensive line probably is our best asset we have, and when you make them run sideline to sideline, after a while they get tired. Our depth is not very deep, so it hurts us. We did go back on offensively. We went back to the old pace, slow down, especially with the young kids that are learning the system. They haven't had an off season but one because of this past year, and prior with COVID, we never really had an off season. So we went back to the basics. We're not back to the eye. And put a tight end there and load up get a fullback and a running back, and let's go back to basics. And I think it worked out for us. And it kept our defense in semi-rested. They weren't. I think we ended up with like 70 some snaps compared to we were averaging about 90 some every game. So. It definitely helps.
So from the Jesse Banda era to now, you guys are more balanced offensively?
With Jose Banda.
Jose Banda, excuse me. I'm sorry.
Yeah. With Jose Banda, he was a 3-year starter, so the playbook was open quite a bit more for him than it is for, Brandon was last year's, but he was a quarterback backing up Juan Banda for 2 years, and then last year he started as a junior. Again, with no off season or anything, the last time he actually had semi of an off season, he was a freshman. So now as a junior, he's coming out. So he feels more comfortable now than he did last year.
Right.
So even slowing it down this past week against Mission, just lining up on our base offense, and getting things done, making sure that we're blocking the right people. You know, I think we were kind of overwhelming a little bit the kids. So we slowed it down, went back to basics, and I think it worked out for us.
When in that game did you guys feel that a turning point? Every game has a turning point. When was it?
Well, the turning point when we started, it was the first half. It was pretty, back and forth. We would go up and then we gave up a long touchdown on a kickoff. So. But the turning point was after the half when we just say, you know what, we're going to run the ball and we're going to run the ball regardless of what we're just going to run. And I think that was the turning point. Once the kids, kind of realized, hey, we can run the ball out of the eye set. So we went to it. The defense got all excited because, they were getting a little more rest. So I think that was the turning point. Even though we gave up another, kickoff return, which is we don't do that much. I mean, we were pretty good on special teams, but we gave up 2 touchdowns on, kickoff returns.
And looking at your non-district portion of the schedule, it's Mission. They're always tough. Cherryline, San Benito, and La Feria. So you guys put together quite the non-district schedule, a little bit of everything.
Yeah, people thought I was crazy by scheduling that kind of schedule. But true story, that day that we had the realignment, I'm trying to find games, and nobody wants to play because I'm telling you, for some reason they thought, that Pace was going to be this, loaded team or whatever. I don't know who you guys been looking at, but anyway, San Benito was kind of like, you want to play? I go, I got no choice. I had nobody else for week 2. I think Vets was in the same boat. Nobody wanted to play in week 2, and they ended up just leaving it open.
Yep.
La Feria was another one that, they just, I guess nobody else. So and then Cherryline. The Cherryline story, we were not going to play. I actually talked to Coach Krill. We're not going to play. Look, we played the last 5 years.
Yeah, that's traditionally y'all play each other.
Yeah, so I said, dude, I'm already getting tired of, playing you. So, but we left the door open in case, and we kind of figured that we might not find people. And he said, we'll leave it open, maybe another week, whatever. And Ron Adame was there, and he's talking to me and says, Danny, nobody wants to play you. Nobody wants to play us. So let's just hook up. I said, you know what? I got no time to waste, man. Let's go. We'll set it up. And we played another. Here we go for the 6th time.
Let's do it again.
Yeah.
Let's do it again.
So, but, they give us a lot of, things. They expose some things that we need to work on. They always, even though we haven't been able to beat them, but I think they bring out the best out of us, and it makes us realize what we need to work on, and that's why we like to play them.
And for people that might not understand, it's saying, well, what does he mean by I can't find anybody to play? This is a result of your district becoming larger.
Too narrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went from a 10-team district to a 6-team or 7-team district, and now we were thinking we were going to be in the same kind of district. So we had maybe 1 or 2 teams lined up, and all of a sudden it blows up, and now we thought the PSJ North of the world, the Velas were going to be with us. And also they moved up to the other districts, so now we got openings, and we're trying to find games, and everybody's trying to find games because everybody got caught by surprise. So that's really what happened, and we're trying to, scramble around, getting people. And, of course, you're Sam and you, the Holland, and everybody wants to play you. And, sometimes it's good, and sometimes it's not a good thing to play them. So
I gotcha. Going into district play, you guys started off with Donna North. Let's start with your opponent and going into this matchup with the Chiefs, who – they've been on the upswing just a little bit. They've won a couple games this year. And what are some things that you guys are looking forward to in your district opener?
I mean, traditionally they've been a good running team. I know last year they beat Rivera in the last game by running the ball, and they've done that this year. Coach Cueva does an amazing job. I thought he always did a good job when he was in Donna, and then he went and got the job over there. And I think for Donna North to be where he started and where he's at right now, he's done a great job of turning things around to, for the better of it. So we got the most respect for him, believe me. They might not have won a lot of games last year, but there's glimpses of what they can be, and on any given night, if you don't pay, the respect to them, and you give them the respect they deserve, they can come and bite you, and that's what we guard against. I told the kids, just because we won a game doesn't mean much. I mean, we still gotta we always look at 3 seasons. We got our preseason, we got district season, then we get a playoff season. So we're done with one. We're starting the next one. We want to start with a W, like any other season, and then we go from there.
So can we expect a quick pace game if they like to run the football? You like to run the football?
We're gonna
clock control.
It's gonna be one of those that we're gonna try to keep our defense off the field much as we can. So we're gonna try and run the ball as much as we can. That's what they do too. They'll throw the ball a little bit just like we will, but I think it's going to be a fast pace just because, the clock shouldn't be stopping too much.
Right, and they'll be at home Friday at Sam's, and we'll have that game for you live. Coach, you talked about the 3 phases. That's part of my next question for you is that you guys have a very good – going into the off season, you said this is what we can expect, and then you start learning more about yourself once the kids put the pads on. Scrimmages, you learn more through non-district. So getting ready for district phase 2 of the season – what have you guys learned about yourselves?
We learned that the young ones still have some learning to do. Good thing that the older kids are coming back to this group. Our quarterback, Brandon, our fullback, Les, all those guys. They really stepped up this week to kind of be more leaders now. Where before they were just kind of being, I said, look, in order for us to be successful, we need to start moving, as a team, and then you guys have to lead us. You, the seniors, have to lead us. And I think they took it to heart. I talked to them at halftime, like I said, at the Mission game, and they came out, and I think that was a turning point, where they just stepped up and said, you know what, it's time for us to lead, and they really did, And I'm hoping for the same thing this game. They'll come out and, cut down on mistakes and all that. Don't shoot ourselves on the foot, and let the offense do what they do, and then let the defense run what they need to run.
So with your seniors stepping up, would you say that'd be a strength?
That's our strength right now, really. Again, like I said, if you look at our team, our defensive line is probably our strength, and it's composed mainly of seniors.
Mainly seniors. And then looking at the district, we touched on the realignment, and you were thrown for a curveball there when you have Westlaco East, veterans, yourself, Donna North, Donna, and Harlingen South, all in this district. Was that what you expected? I know you said it was kind of a curveball, but
well, all those were expected. The curveballs when when North was moved out, and so did Vela. Everybody was thinking that they were going to be with us down here. Ended up being with the other district. We're still gonna, if you happen to make the 3rd season, you're gonna face them. Somewhere down the road, you'll see them. If you're lucky enough to go to the 2nd round, second round, you're gonna see them somewhere around there.
And Porter's the one that they got sent to another district.
They really got sent away.
Yeah, really. They're with Ed Couch, Mercedes, Gregory Portland, Flower Bluff. So, but on the flip side, the Brownsvilles, the 5As at least get to still stick together.
Yeah, we get to, our numbers ended up being pretty much about the same. So we knew coming in that if anybody was going to be moving was Porter for sure, and maybe Lopez. Ended up Lopez barely made the 5A, at the big school. We were a little bit ahead of them, but our numbers really are not that much separated from all 3 Brownsville schools. We're about the same.
Yeah, and then for you guys going into district, just briefly, what's your outlook on it? Because I think it's going to be better than people think. And I think every team in this district, they're only going to get better. East is going to get better. Yourself. Donna's impressed.
Donna, so far, I tell you what, right now, Donna is the one that's really looking pretty impressive. They're putting up a lot of points. So, they went into Ed Couch this past week, and we figured, okay, this will be a test for them, see where they're at. And, they put up quite a bit of points even on Ed Couch. So, we don't see them till later down the season. But in our district, the top 4 or 5 teams, it could be in anybody's, you play bad one game and you can get upset, just like, right now if you ask me, Vets, Donna, probably the top 2 teams right now. South, I got to see them twice already, and they tell you what, they're turning around too. They started kind of slow, but they're picking up steam, and usually around this time, that's what happens. You already got everybody in place. You see what they can do. You adjust it to whatever you need to adjust, and you're gonna start seeing better football now.
Switching gears from high school, Coach, I know your Longhorns won. I know you always like to give me grief.
Yeah.
It's going to be one of those things.
Yeah, they won. I guess we had a moral victory, against Alabama.
Yeah.
And we're talking, some friends of mine. I said, look, the worst that can happen is kind of like with us right now. coming off that moral win and then let down, and here comes UTSA and whoops you your own place. And it looked pretty bad at first, but they came around. They're pretty athletic. I mean, I think they're turning things around there as well. So, it's always good to see.
Yeah, and our Cowboys won.
The Cowboys won.
They figured it out.
They figured out how to win this one.
Won, right?
So hopefully they'll keep going.
Much better. Coach, before you go, I want to give your volleyball team a shout-out.
Man, tell you what, you were there and I was there. What an excitement, man. It's like the coach Dyer said, it was playoff atmosphere. And really that's what it is. When those two schools match up, whatever sport it is, it's going to get pretty exciting. Wherever place, whether it's at their place or our place, it's going to be packed. Last night they closed the doors because there was no more room. So
yes,
they closed it.
Wow.
So they closed the doors because it was just too packed. So, I mean, it was great. I mean, I think we've been closed in the past, but these girls have never really come through. Last night they found a way to get through. I mean, like you saw, they came out. The first two games, they were all over the place, and the second game, they went kind of to sleep a little bit. But at least they woke up in the last one to win the whole match.
And it lived up to the bill in the House of Pain.
Oh, yes. I mean, that House of Pain goes back a lot of years.
Yes,
believe me, it's not something recent.
Yeah. Well, Mando Perez. I always joke with him. That's the house that Mando built, and he's like, "Oh, shut up." But he played for Coach Guzman back probably when it was first originated. So I was like, "Yep."
That's when they did about around that time. Then Coach Gibson, which used to be at Vets, used to be there at Pace, and that was big. As a matter of fact, I don't know about volleyball. I wasn't there. I was in practice. I didn't get to be at the beginning, but I know basketball still uses the same theme song coming in.
Yes.
The House of Pain, and for Coach Ramirez kept it, and says he's always been part of Pace, so we're not going to change that. So I lived up to his name, the House of Pain.
And you went to where?
I went to Porter.
You went to Porter.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm about Mondo's age, so Mondo was at Pace when I was at Porter.
Oh, okay.
I think he might be a little younger than I am.
He might be.
Yeah, not by much though, because I remember Mondo playing.
Yes.
He should be their point guard there at Pace.
Yes. Yeah. That's why I text Ronnie, his wife. I said I'm back at the house that Mondo built, the House of Pain, Mondo's Pace's finest.
Yeah.
In other words, but no, I thought they played really well, Coach, and good for your fan base and the student section, and things like that are good for the community.
We actually changed our schedule, our practice schedule, so we can let the football team go.
Okay.
All the volleyball girls, are you gonna let them go? No, I got to practice, and they're all upset because I was not going to let them out. But we adjusted our practice just to make sure they go. I think it's great for the kids. It's great for the school. That now that volleyball team is doing so well, and we like to support as much as we can. So I know they go to our games and they support us. So I think the culture of all Pace athletics is changing where they're supporting each other, and I think it's a good thing. I mean, we still cover what we need to cover in practice, which is kind of hurry it up a little bit to let them go and have some fun at the game.
The Lady Vikings 8-0 and 32-5A. They're in sole possession of first. That's Danny Pardo, head coach of the Brownsville Pace Vikings. Coach, before we let you go, any shout-outs?
Well, shout out to my volleyball team. I guess that's the main one,
The hot topic.
And I tell you what, I'm a Porter grad, so shout out to the Cowboys, man. Coach Ureste was doing a great job. 4-0, that's great for that community. They're true fans. It don't matter if they're 0-100. They're gonna go and support Porter, Cowboys. And I think any chance I get to go see them. If I get a chance, I go see them. I go sit on their sideline, on their stands, and and I always enjoy it. People know I'm from Porter. Porter will always be home unless I'm playing them, because I like to win. So
there you go. Nothing wrong with that. That's Danny Pardo, head coach of the Brownsville Pace Vikings. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Good
luck on Friday. We'll see you.
Appreciate
yes, sir.
it. Thank you.
All right, when we come back, more on the other side of the break.
Decisions. What's next? Can I afford to continue my education? What are my options? At Brownsville ISD Career and Technical Education, you can graduate from high school with a certificate and/or license ready to go to work, debt-free. We have a wide range of programs for every student, ranging from audiovisual, law enforcement, STEM robotics, electrical, welding, pharmacy, patient care tech, and many more to choose from. That's why Brownsville ISD is the best choice.
We're the Edinburgh Lady Bobcats, and you're watching Real Sports Live. Woo!
For quality care, contact Mesquite Home Health and Attendant Services today. In Brownsville at 594 Jose Marti Boulevard, Call today, 956-361-5558.
We here at Mesquite want to wish all local athletes good luck in today's game.
We're the Harlingen South Lady Hawks, and you're watching Real Sports Live. Hawks up! We're the Mission Lady Eagles, and you're watching Real Sports Live. Yeah! We're the Mission Vets Lady Patriots, and you're watching Real Sports Live.
Josh Moody and Coach Rolly Gonzalez of Josh Moody Loans are former Harlingen Cardinals and would like to wish all the teams good luck in tonight's games.
We're the Valley View Lady Tigers, and you're watching Real Sports Live.
Hija, tomorrow's your quinceañera. I need you to call your padrinos and tell them thank you for the salon, the tamales, the dress, el DJ.
Ay, Ama, you called them. I didn't even want a quinceañera in the first place. I would have preferred to have gone to Paris instead.
I will, fine. I'm gonna give you your surprise gift early.
Huh?
Guess what? You're going to Paris.
How?
Well, I've been saving mucho dinero all year in insurance thanks to Pronto Insurance.
Let's just skip the quinceañera and go straight to Paris.
Call your padrinos right now.
Okay.
Ask your agent how you can start saving with Pronto. Best price in town.
We are the Edinburgh North Lady Cougars, and you're watching Real Sports Live.
I love what I do. I
love
really
what
do.
I'm doing. I love children. One of the most important things to do is to love your students.
Imagine teachers like these helping your child prepare to change the world. Take a closer look at Mission CISD.
Our service is unmatched. Our commitment to our team and our community, relentless. Our products are innovative and exciting. Fruia, we're what's next now.
Ibanez Tortilleria, serving up freshly made in-house corn and flour tortillas since 1994. Try our delicious menudo, tasty barbacoa, fresh tamales, tacos, variadas with juicy grilled chicken, and tender fajitas. On Mondays, buy one barbacoa taco and get one free if you mention that you're a Bloodhound fan. Located at 4726 Paredes Line Road, Brownsville, Texas. Open every day at 6:30 a.m. till 9 p.m. To order, contact 956-541-9594.
Cherryline ISD, a nationally recognized district focusing on quality and rigorous instruction where every child is immersed in a culture of academic success. A district dedicated to preparing our youth for the future. Our mission is to inspire, educate, and empower all students to reach their full potential and become leaders of the highest moral character. Cherryline ISD, excellence is our tradition.
Welcome back. Special shout out to Coach Danny Pardo for joining us. Good chat. Always a good chat with Danny Pardo, head coach of the Brownsville Pace Vikings. So today's Wednesday. Looking forward to tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Ruben's going to let you know what's on tap from football, volleyball, to even some water polo.
All right, we'll start things out for tomorrow. We have 4 games on the slate for you. Laredo United goes to take on Harlingen. Of course, Harlingen beat Laredo United South at Roma. They'll face off again at Roma this week. PSJ comes to town to take on Brownsville Veterans at Sam's Memorial Stadium. Mercedes takes on Cherryline. That's our Pardo Insurance game of the week. And PSJ Southwest will take on Edinburgh North. Again, all these games on Thursday will be a 7 o'clock start. We switch gears to Friday. 9 games on the schedule for you here. We'll kick things off with the 7 o'clock games. We have Brownsville Hannah takes on Mission Vets at Tom Landry Stadium. Brownsville St. Joseph takes on Victoria St. Joseph. Laredo Alexander takes on Cherryline Pioneer. Mission takes on Los Fresnos. And we have Donna North take on Brownsville Pace. And then for the 7:30 games, we'll have Taft take on Odom as they begin district play in 16-3A Division 2. Tolosa Midway takes on H&M King. Again, to kick off 16-4A Division 1 play. Alice takes on La Feria in another district matchup. And Ingleside takes on Raymondville in another non-district matchup at 7:30. And we look at some water polo here on 8:30 to 10 a.m. bright and early on a Saturday. PSJ Memorial comes to town to take on the Harlingen Cardinals. And for volleyball, 3 games on tap on noon. Pioneer takes on Cherryline in the Snake Scene Classic on the hardwood. La Jolla takes on Edinburgh North, and Harlingen takes on Hannon in a 32 6A battle.
So that's our schedule for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And speaking of volleyball, just a shout out to the Cherryline Lady Rattlers. They have won 25 in a row, and they are full steam ahead. And the 31 5A district, they're still unbeaten. They were able to beat Mackay last night in Mackay. So they, the adage there with Cherryline was last year they didn't make the playoffs. They finished 5th. They went 7-7, and all 7 losses came to the 3 McAllen, so that's 2-4-6, and then they split with Pioneer. So those were their 7 losses. So it's like, well, can they win the big game? And the answer is yes. They've already beaten Rowe, they've beaten Mackay, they've beaten Memorial, and they're looking for that 4th win against the top teams. Pioneer on Saturday, which is expecting to be another great atmosphere, just like last night's Pace and Veterans. And like Coach Pardo said, anytime those two teams meet up in volleyball, it's going to make for some really good stuff. And if you've been in Pace's gym, it's a lot smaller. The crowd's on top of you, and it's a lot louder than most gyms. So that game was good last night. Last night, 32-6A got underway. On Saturday, 31-6A gets started. So we're going to step aside and take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to try and grab someone here from Luke Fruia. If not, we'll wrap things up from here when we come back on the other side of the break.
Escucha. Prontísimo.
Auto, home business, or
Flexible.
insurance for all your
Barato.
needs. You say you just got a new boat. Come on by and we'll give you a free quote.
Prontísimo.
Okay, who's singing? Me or you? Hello?
Accesible.
Pregúntale a tu agente cómo ahorrar con Pronto, porque más barato, nadie.
Music lovers, you have to stop and see the assortment of records, tapes, and records memorabilia at Forever Memories today. Located at 237 North Sam Houston in San Benito, Texas, there's over 10,000 records on display and more coming every day. Looking for your favorite album from the past? First pressings, collectibles. How about a 45 with a single you just have to have? Freddie Fender, Johnny Cash, Hank Williams, Elvis, Beatles, blues, rock, classics, Tejano, it's all here. Organized and priced for you. Forever Memories, 237 North Sam Houston, San Benito.
Come visit our new store in downtown Harlingen. We have furniture, appliances, clothes, collectibles, and more. All funds collected support the Sunny Glen Children's Home. Come see us at Vintage on Jackson at First and Jackson in Harlingen.
Traigo 100 kilos de ropa, lo que se me antoja, dinero en el banco. Muchas me andan criticando, pues traigo carrazos que como le hago. Tengo aseguro del bueno, pronto y flexible y sale barato. Es mi corrido humilde, que no se te olvide que me ando ahorrando.
Ask your agent how you can start saving with Pronto. Best price in town.
We're the Harlingen South Lady Hawks, and you're watching Real Sports Live. Hawks up!
Forever Memories, Antiques and Collectibles, located at 237 North Sam Houston in San Benito, is filled with vintage items, collectibles, and a selection of vinyl records that's as good as it gets. Every shelf, every aisle, and table is filled daily by a number of vendors that ensures that something here just might be the item you have to have. The vinyl record area helps bring an added atmosphere that makes for the fun trip when stepping back in time with the memories. Forever Memories, Antiques and Collectibles in San Benito.
I'm a 5th grader at Champion Elementary, and next year, I'm going to be at 6th grade at Perkins Middle School.
My favorite thing about my school is that they make it fun for us to learn. As an 8th grader, I'll be able to take high school classes in middle school.
Well, I take a lot of the dual enrollment classes that TSC offers to us.
They have given me an early start on what I want to become in the future, which is a mathematics teacher.
That's why Brownsville ISD is the best choice.
Welcome back. We're joined by Finance Manager Ivan Guerra. Ivan, thanks for cutting out some time to join us.
Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you guys, and welcome to Luke Fruia Motors.
Yeah, so we're always excited to be here every Wednesday throughout the football season. So you guys have there's a lot going on here on the lot. There's last year there weren't trucks inside in the showroom. You guys got trucks outside, SUVs. So what's the scoop here at Luke Fruia?
So the scoop is, man, lately we've been getting a lot of inventory. We have a lot of trucks, a lot of SUVs, a lot of our pre-owned nice cars. We have lots of them. So we want you guys to come out and check our cars, our trucks, our SUVs. These past 2 years, they've been, it's been different from the past because of the pandemic. But like I said, we're back on track. We have a lot of inventory. We want you to come over and visit us. We really appreciate you guys coming over here, being with us. And like I said, we love sports. We love the RGV. We want to be here for you guys. And like I said, come check us out.
Jesse had mentioned that there were some new details you guys were going to be working on with the trucks
Yes. So what we're doing with a lot of our trucks, with a lot of our new trucks, the Sierras, is we're already adding tires, leveling kits, tint, ceramic tint. So you come and buy your truck. You don't have to go out there and do all these installations on yourself. You come in, you buy your truck, it's ready to go.
Anything else that you want to plug that you guys have going on?
So what I really want you guys to know is that our pre-owned inventory is stellar right now. We have a lot of Cadillacs, a lot of Buick GMCs, and a lot of other brands that are available. Ford, Dodge, Toyota, Nissan, anything that you want, we can look for it if we don't have it on the lot. We really want you to come over. We love our valley. We love our valley people. We love our customers here at Luke Fruia. We have customers for 30 plus years. They've been buying here because of our customer service. And we want the new customers. We want you to come visit us, give us a chance, and like I said, I trust me, you'll leave happy.
That's Ivan Guerra, Brownsville Hanna alum.
Brownsville Hanna Eagles.
And you're also a Niners fan.
I'm a Niner fan, man. I'm kind of torn up right because of Trey Lance, but we got Jimmy Garoppolo. We got Jimmy Garoppolo back. I think he's gonna do great. I mean, he did great, but like I said, there's still a lot of football left.
So how intense does it get, Cowboys?
Man,
Niners?
it gets intense here because our boss, the owner, he's a Cowboy fan. He's a Cowboy fan, but you know what? We managed through it. We managed through it. Rudy, he's a huge Cowboy fan here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 90% Cowboy country, but we can manage.
We'll manage. You're all right.
Oh, for sure, man. I love it here.
That's Ivan Guerra, the finance manager of Luke Fruia. Ivan, thanks for joining us, and thanks for having us here at Luke Fruia.
No, thank you guys for having us. Thank you for joining us. And like I said, people, come and visit us. We are here to serve you.
When we come back, we'll wrap things up here from Luke Fruia.
Hi, I'm Rodo Rodriguez, and I'm a partner with New York Life Insurance Company. For 170 years, New York Life has built a reputation for building some of the finest agents in the industry. I help to manage that process from day one. If you're looking to challenge yourself and build an insurance and financial service business, then I would like to show you how I can help.
When excellence in academics meets discovery on the court, in the arts, with institutions of higher education and beyond, we are the future leaders, and our success starts now. La Via ISD, Cardinal Pride.
Welcome back, Luke Fruia Motors. Kevin, Rudy, back there. Try to bogard the shot there. So tomorrow is Thursday. We're going to get our football schedule rolling. Tell us where you will be, Thursday and Friday and Saturday.
Well, Thursday I got some football tomorrow night at Sam's Memorial Stadium. PSJ and Brownsville Veterans Memorial facing off. PSJ again, they had a little bit of a slow start. They started off 0-3, and then they got a big win last week against Hannah on Saturday. So they come back to Sam Stadium and take on Brownsville Vets, who's rolling so far 2-1 on the season, coming off a big win against Portis as well. And it should be a good matchup. You see, you mentioned earlier the spread taking on the slot T should be a good matchup tomorrow night. And Friday night we got Cherryline Pioneer taking on Laredo Alexander, excuse me. Give me 1 second here. We'll be taking on Cherryline Pioneer. Cherryline Pioneer 3-1, suffered a loss against Edinburgh North, but they got a big win against Valley View last week, 49-6, and they'll take on Laredo Alexander, who's 1-3, so they're still trying to find the groove. It should be a good matchup as well. And then Saturday we got some water polo, which has been very fun, and Quick shout out to Harlingen South. They had the Bird Bowl last night. The girls winning that matchup 9-7. The boys winning 11-9. And water polo, it's just a really fun sport to cover. And it'll be at PSA Memorial taking on Harlingen High on Saturday morning. So this should be a fun one.
So tomorrow night we will have our Pronto Insurance game of the week. That's Cherryline and Mercedes. Myself and Joe will be there at Richard Thompson Stadium. And then rolling into Friday, I'll hit the road with Brownsville St. Joe as they open up district play against Victoria St. Joe. So that's a district opener for the Bloodhounds Friday night. Saturday, be back home in the Valley. It'll be Cherryland and Cherryland Pioneer. That one, another exciting match on a Saturday. So it's Kevin, it's Ruben, Rudy. On behalf of myself, Joe Bowling, everyone at Real Sports Live, and a special thank you to everyone here at Luke Fruia Motors in Brownsville for hooking us up with the showroom and sponsoring us throughout the school year. Thanks for hosting us. We will see you at the games, and we'll see you next week back here from Luke Fruia Motors.